we can ensure things are working. And I can turn them back down once we ensure they're working.
I'll be
but
typing the whole time probably, so to turn it off, I just push it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, but you would just need to remember to turn it back on every time you spoke. I think you'll be okay with keystrokes. It shouldn't be that. But if you're like tapping a pen,
Okay.
that would then be like more. So don't strain from doing that, but I think you're okay on keystrokes. I can let you know if you want to type like.
Okay, yeah, why don't we just give it a.
Is that typical typing volume?
Yeah.
Angry type.
Kind of a loud typist.
Gotta grease those keys. Burn them out.
Are we good? Is that not an issue? Okay. Awesome.
You too. Sounds good on my side.
Yeah, there's a spillover room too that we have as well.
Yeah, I couldn't hear it at all.
Oh,
Shannon's in Atlanta,
yes, someone responded.
but then she's
Yeah.
deciding to work on her vacation.
Yeah, she responded, yeah.
Okay, cool. I didn't see if she responded, so I was like, well, at least I'll let you know so I got
No, I appreciate that. Nope, she said, tell me a time. I said,
Okay.
yep.
Yeah, I looked at the calendar, I was like, it's open. But I leave that to Shannon, because
Yep.
otherwise if I came in, and she's like, no, wait, I didn't see anything, like, okay.
Exactly. Yeah, and I texted her about our trivia.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, she didn't tell you? Well, for Laura and I don't think we're gonna be able to do it this year for you. I know.
I'll fit it in. I'll do it.
You should, and you should. And I can help. I can help you out a little writing it. But we're having our first kid in. You don't know this either? In September.
No.
Yeah.
Wait, how do I not know?
Shannon doesn't tell you. Shannon doesn't tell you anything.
Well, no.
Thank you.
Boy, girl, do you know yet? Boy?
Yes. Thank you. So yeah, I guess I figured when I texted Shannon this stuff, you would hear. I'll make sure that I'll include a little instructions.
Yeah, the communication, bro to bro, let's just do that. Especially for things that aren't related to the business.
Yeah, I got you.
Typically bring a cool floor base.
It's water, in case anyone wants any. I think Alex brought it.
Pretty thoughtful.
Secretary.
Never seen the city council.
I just wish that we had a little bit bigger of a room. We've got an overflow room set up.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like you have a really good building that made
Yeah. Often at the middle school, sometimes at the administrative building, and sometimes at the high school. The middle school has a little bit bigger of an area, but this meeting probably would have been held at the admin building, so we're holding it. This is the inaugural meeting at this building, in fact. Oh, thanks. It's peeking out.
Is there a sign-up sheet circulating?
Is it all filled out? Okay, thanks.
It's 6 o'clock. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alex, would you call the roll?
Mr. DeVito.
Here.
Myself is present. Mr. Zantut.
Present.
Mr. Regnery.
Present?
Ms. Evans.
Here.
Ms. Tomlinson.
Present.
Mr. Koppel. Mr. Koppel is absent. A quorum is established.
As a general reminder, our board governs by policy aligned with state law. These policies are not just guidelines, they're legal and ethical obligations that ensure transparency, accountability, and consistent leadership. When policies no longer meet the district's needs, it's our responsibility to amend them within the bounds of the law to better serve our community. The board acts only as a whole in duly convened public meetings with a quorum present. Outside of this structure, no individual member has authority. Adherence to policy protects the district from risk and ensures that all decisions are fair, lawful, and aligned with our strategic goals. Our mission is to empower all learners to succeed in their world, and our vision is to provide an ideal learning experience where students and staff are engaged and want to come back the next day. Our board policies and actions should reflect that mission and vision. I want to take a moment to thank all of the staff who put together this space for us. I know that it was a huge lift, and you guys did an incredible job, and hopefully everyone is patient with some of the nuances to this new system as we go through it. For the audience to visitors section, there is a second room downstairs that has attendees with a live stream. To be respectful of their right to public comment, once we're finished with public comment in this room, we'll confirm that there are no other attendees who'd like to make public comment, and then we'll proceed with the remainder of the agenda. If you wish to address the board this evening, please raise your hand at this time. When called upon, kindly state your name and address and limit your comments to 3 minutes. In accordance with the Illinois Open Meetings Act, the board cannot engage in deliberative discussions or take immediate action on items not listed on the agenda. However, we want to ensure that your comments are heard, and I want you to know that they are important to us and will be taken into consideration. For a maximum of 30 minutes during each regular and special open meeting of the board, members of the public and district employees may comment to, ask questions of the board subject to reasonable constraints established and recorded in Policy 2230. The time limit for public participation at a meeting may be extended upon the majority vote of the board members at the regular or special meeting. The board listens to comments or questions during public participation. Responses to comments to or questions of the board are most often managed through Policy 330, the chain of command. The individuals appearing before the board are expected to follow the following guidelines. Address the board only at the appropriate time as indicated on the agenda and when recognized by the board president. This includes following the directives of the board president to maintain order and decorum for all. Use a sign-in sheet, if possible. Identify oneself by name and address and be brief. Ordinarily, comments should be limited to the 3 minutes, and in unusual circumstances when an individual has made a request in advance, speaking may extend past that. If multiple individuals wish to address the board on the same subject, a group is encouraged to appoint a spokesperson. Members of the public are not allowed to cede time to other persons wishing to make public comments. Members of the public and/or groups or other organizations are not allowed to cede time to other persons and/or groups or organizations. In accordance with Board Policy 2220, meeting procedures guided by Robert's Rules of Order. At this time, would anyone like to address the board?
Lisa Smith, and you need an address?
A name and address would be great.
1364 Axel Lane.
Thank you, Lisa. All right, I'm going to start a timer here, so it's just easy for us. Yeah, of course, sure.
Right?
Go for it.
Hi, everyone. I want to take you back to February of '24. I don't know how many of you remember Stephen Jamrod. He was hired by the high school to supervise the Spartan TV program, and he was eventually charged with 6 counts of aggravated battery against the students. So what happened was the police investigation started on 2/11 of last year. On 2/12, he was in the high school. And I have talked to a policeman friend of mine, and I said, is it normal policy to tell a possible perpetrator not to contact the victims in this case? And they said, he told me, yes, it is usual policy. Well, the problem with this is my daughter, he was in the building. My daughter texted me. She was 16 years old, and she said, Jamrog's in the building. And she said, it's scary. And then she said, I can't believe they let a sexual assaulter in here. She was one of the girls that was the 6 counts. So she went to the office, and she was told Jamrog was not in the building. I called the office, and I was told by one of the admins that Jamrog was not in the building. So Lauren texted me again, and I called again, and I said, I want to know what's going on at school right now. And then was finally told he was in the building. From a text one of the girls sent, it was at least 15 minutes. He was in the building. They had no knowledge of it. He got in through the TV station door, and yet it's a regular key. And again, they did not know he was there. The kicker is, the next day, Lauren was, I didn't want to say her name. My daughter was interviewed by a detective at the Sycamore Police Department, and I was talking to the detective afterwards. The police were not called at all at this time, not at all. The police had no knowledge that he was in the building, and the detective was mad. And I also, in talking to the detective, I also need to just tell you that I have a master's degree from U of I in counseling. I have worked with sexual assault victims. I have worked very closely with the Aurora Police, went to trainings with them. I know a lot about this subject, and this is what happened with this kid. And he was a kid. He was 20 years old when he was hired. The first year, he was throwing parties for the boys and girls. They had a prom because they were all 15 and 16. They all loved him. The next year, the shenanigans started until it finally got to the point where one girl reported him. Okay, so he was charged on 2/27, I believe. I don't have that date down, but anyway, he was charged at some point, 6 counts of aggravated battery, which is punishable after 3 years in prison. Come forward to 215, which, by the way, the paper did not report this.
I appreciate your comment, but we have to stop so we can allow time for other public speakers. But thank you.
That's 3 minutes already?
It is.
Oh my God, that's only half of it.
You move to extend that? Or?
I mean, there is, it's
Is there
complex.
a motion to extend?
I would move to extend her time.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
We'll add another 3 minutes.
That should be enough. The problem is, you had an administrator in the office at the high school saying he wasn't in the building. What's the first thought that comes to everybody's mind? The first thought that came to my mind was, he could have gone in there with a gun or a knife and they all would have been dead, all of them, because nobody knew he was there, and then they did not act on it. The police should have been immediately called, and they should have locked down the school. Okay, that's last year. 2/15 of this year, he gets sentenced. A group of the kids go, I could not be there, but a group of the kids go. He got sentenced to 10 months of counseling, $3,200 of restitution, and he will have 6 felony charges reduced to 1 battery charge, which is a misdemeanor, which will be taken off his record if he completes the counseling and behaves himself. So he could conceivably go into another school and do this again, because he will have a clean record. So I have talked to the state's attorney that was on the case, Joe Hatter, and I also had a long call with Riley Onken, and both of them told me that, I said, we knew nothing, got a notice a couple days before they were going to sentence him, there was nothing in the paper. I said, well, how did you come to this sentence? And he said, we met with school officials, and it was decided that he was a weird and awkward kid, but there was no sexual component to his behavior. Okay, I know what happened to those girls, and I'll tell you one of the lesser things. He would take a 16-year-old girl, pull her onto his lap, and hold her there. Now, what part of that doesn't say sexual component, but says weird and awkward? And the school officials had a point in deciding that this was what he was. And I would also state, he was hired at the middle school before he worked at the high school. He came to the high school when he was 20 or 21. If he was weird and awkward, why was he put in a position to have control and power over a group of younger children. He should not have been in that. Plus, I don't know what kind of education he had. The man that's in that position now has a 4-year degree in TV production or whatever. Why they hired him or what he did, but it seems to me very, very bad judgment. So that pretty much is what I wanted to say. I think we need to think about what kind of people, administrators we have in the schools. I think they missed it every part of the way. I think they brushed this business with he getting in the building under the cover, under the blanket, and hoping it would go away. And it's not. And I can't tell you how angry I am that they made this decision that he was weird and awkward, and he is going to go free with a clean record in another year. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate your comments.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else from the public who would like to address the board? Yes, please. Would you please state your name and address?
Marvin Barnes, 1549 Daniel Court.
Thank you. Would you like to approach the board, or are you comfortable there? Oh, okay, great.
Wait for you to say something.
Yep, oh, of course, absolutely.
Good evening. My name is Marvin Barnes, and lifetime resident of Sycamore, graduate of Sycamore High School. Raised 4 boys, all graduate of Sycamore. And I'm just here kind of as a cheerleader for those of you who are sitting in this position here, because many years ago, I sat in your position. I was a school board member, and I was also president of the school board. So we went through it was the late 80s, early 90s, we went through some difficult times. So I normally don't come to the school board meetings, as you probably know, but I came here tonight only because there's an emergency here, what I would term a special meeting called, and I have no idea what's going on, and I have, feelings maybe, I don't know, but I am here to say, thank you for what you do. And especially there's some new board members on here, and we have a relatively new school board president. I've been in your seat, I've been in Michael's seat for several years, and it's a very, very rewarding job. It's not really a job. You're all volunteers. 90% of the people in Sycamore don't realize that you don't get paid. It's volunteer only, and I just want to say thank you to each one of you. Whatever comes out of tonight, whatever decisions you make, remember there's strength in unity, and a strong board is a good perception to the community. So I'm just here to say thank you for what you do.
Very much. Appreciate your public comment. Is there anyone else from the public who'd like to address the board at this time? Hi.
Good evening. My name is David Olson. I live at 305 Grant Street here in Sycamore. I am a longtime community member, and I'm here to speak based off of months and years of reading through minutes since I departed the district, stayed current in it because I live here and because I love education. So I'm here to speak on what appears to be a total dismantling of this institution by 7 board members sitting in front of us, and to ask the board if they have forgotten their why. The students, as the district's missions, or the students, or as the district mission states, the learners, the ones you all are supposed to be empowering, all of them to succeed in their world. As an individual who worked in this district for nearly 15 years and is a product of this school district, just like at least 5 of you are also, it is unfortunate to see what you are doing to this institution. I was fortunate to work alongside our previous superintendent during the last update of the strategic plan. During that time, I learned and was shared lots of information, how our mission was chosen, why it is who we are. And that mission statement was meant for them, to the students, and heard from It came down to the fact that this community cares about the education of our students. I also listened to this repeatedly as I would give tours of Sycamore High School graduate classes during their class reunions. Class reunion weekend, somehow I was an official tour guide of that. In recent months, this board has worked diligently to erase the work of the board members who came before you. The ones that are listed on those plaques right there, and again, 5 of you, those members have volunteered their time so this school system would fulfill its mission to be successful in our world. Having attended numerous board meetings for nearly the last 20 years, the Spider Sense immediately is alerted when your regular board meeting in June was canceled within 2 days of the window of the agenda being posted and the date of the meeting. And then this week announcing a special board meeting on a Friday at 6 p.m. with a single non-consent action item related to the employment contract of the superintendent 3 weeks before school starts. You are failing this community, this staff, and the learners of this community you serve.
Thank you very much for your public comment. Appreciate it. Is there anyone else from the public who'd like to address the board at this time? Would you please state your name and address?
Mason Dukes, resident of 1719 Thorough Street here in Sycamore.
Thank you, Mason.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Mason Dukes, and I'm a proud graduate of Sycamore High School class of 2021. I've always taken great pride in saying I'm a product of Sycamore schools. This district shaped me, not just academically, but as a person. It gave me opportunities, lifelong mentors, and a strong sense of community. Over the years, I've had my share of agreements and disagreements with the decisions made by Sycamore's leadership and its board. But even in moments of disagreement, I felt a sense of mutual respect and an underlying commitment to do right by our students and staff. That trust in Sycamore's values is what led me to return not as an alum, but as an employee. I loved this district enough to come back and work for it for the past 2.5 years as the communications specialist, a role that I have recently left. That's why it is beyond disappointing now to watch the same district I believed in and worked for be pulled into a downward spiral. A spiral driven not by necessity, but by poor decision-making and individuals chasing authority at the expense of this community, its dedicated faculty, and its students. It's frankly disheartening to witness a board that ran on promises of transparency and fiscal responsibility call a meeting with zero public announcement until it was called upon them by the members of the community. From a communications perspective, my area of expertise, this is an unprofessional, tone-deaf, and nearly impossible to explain to the public in good faith. This isn't how responsible governance looks. It's a communications nightmare, and more than that, it's a betrayal of trust in this community that has placed it in you. Though I may no longer be a true resident of Sycamore, as I have now moved on to bigger and better things with school in Chicago, and I may not be serving as your communications specialist, I will always care about this district. This community raised me. This school system laid the foundation for everything I've worked for and achieved. And to see it now reduced to something resembling a fiery car crash you can't look away from, it's both painful and maddening. The truth is what's happening here isn't just disappointing, it's disgraceful. The choices being made by this board are reckless, self-serving, and deeply harmful. You are not leading, you are eroding. Eroding trust, eroding morale, and eroding the reputation of a district that once stood for excellence. If this is what leadership looks like now, chaotic and unaccountable, then I want no part of it, and neither should anyone who actually gives a damn about Sycamore. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your public comment. Is there anyone else from the audience who'd like to address the board at this time? All right, seeing no one in this room, we're going to close this audience participation. I'm going to go check downstairs, so if you wouldn't mind, just briefly. Thank you guys for your patience. Yes, we have one speaker from downstairs who'd like to address the board. Kindly, would you state your name and address?
Greg Daddario, 1040 Salmonock.
Thank you very much.
I've been to a lot of these meetings over the last 7 or 8 years. I've been to a lot of meetings in my time in the community. I've watched the board turn over entirely from the board that it was constituted when I got here 11 years ago. And just hearing this idea of this board not being transparent, this board leading us down a downward spiral just kind of hit me where I live in a way. I don't speak at these things. I never do. And I don't know. The actions this board has taken show more transparency than any board that I've witnessed in my time here. There are community members and school teachers that are involved in subcommittees. Agendas have the policies that are connected to action items stated on them. The documents for the meetings are posted after the fact where you can actually look at them. There seems to be way more transparency than I've ever seen before in my time in this district. And it is disheartening to hear people come up here and say that bad things are happening and horrible things are occurring when, in my mind, and to the actions that I've witnessed since this board has come into its current constitution, has been the exact opposite. Every board member has had meetings with SEA members and leadership to open lines of communication. They have been willing to listen to the things that we are saying and trying to understand where we're coming from. And that, in my mind, doesn't speak to a lack of transparency. It speaks to more transparency than I've seen in the past from this institution. So, thank you.
Thank you very much for your public comment. We appreciate it. Is there anyone else from the audience who'd like to address the board at this time? Seeing no further members, we will move on to the next item on the agenda. The next item on the agenda is the consent agenda, composed of item 4.01, bills payable, and 4.02, personnel report. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as proposed?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing no discussion, Alex, would you call the roll?
Please.
Sure.
Mr. DeVito.
Yes.
Myself, yes. Mr. Zantu.
Yes.
Mr. Regnery.
Yes.
Ms. Evans.
Yes.
Ms. Tomlinson.
Yes.
Motion passes.
The next item on the agenda is item 5.01, approval of the superintendent amended employment agreement. Is there a motion to approve the superintendent amended employment agreement as proposed?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing no discussion, Alex, would you call the roll?
Mr. DeVito.
Yes.
Myself, yay. Mr. Zantu.
Yes.
Mr. Regnery.
Yes.
Ms. Evans.
Yes.
Ms. Tomlinson.
Yes.
Motion carried.
The Board of Education and Mr. Wilder have reached a mutual agreement regarding a leadership transition, and consequently, Mr. Wilder will conclude his service as superintendent effective at the close of business on March 31st, 2026. The board thanks Mr. Wilder for exemplary service to the district and wishes him well in his future endeavors. The board emphasizes a collaborative and transparent approach, one that truly values the perspectives of our dedicated teachers, administrators, building leadership, the superintendent, and the entire District 427 community. With this in mind, the board is pleased to outline the following interim arrangements. Consistent with the district's succession plan, Assistant Superintendent for Human Resources and Educational Programs, Nick Reinick will serve as the acting superintendent. The Board of Education will collaborate closely with the Illinois Association of School Boards to facilitate the interview and hiring process for the next superintendent, incorporating input from students, teachers, administration, and the 427 community. As we navigate this period of transition, we respectfully request the patience and understanding of our administration, staff, educators, students, and the broader 427 community. We are steadfast in our commitment to address any concerns and ensure a seamless changeover. Is there a motion to go into executive session for the following exemptions. Exemption 12C8, security procedures, school building safety and security, and the use of personnel and equipment to respond to an actual, a threatened, or a reasonably potential danger to the safety of employees, students, staff, the public, or public property. Exemption 2C10, the placement of individual students in special education programs and other matters relating to individual students. Exemption 2C1, the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or other dismissal of specific employees, specific individuals who serve as independent contractors in an educational setting.
So moved.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded. Alex, would you call the roll?
Mr. DeVito.
Yes.
Myself, yes. Mr. Zantu.
Yes.
Mr. Regnery.
Yes.
Ms. Evans.
Yes.
Ms. Tomlinson.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you all for coming out. Yeah.
I don't think I signed.
Can you sign this? reset the room.
Just 4 or 5.
They're on, so I know, so we are live, but we can turn them off.
Thank you.
You're welcome. There you go.
Yeah. We got him back on the charger just because.
Everything good with diligence?
Thank you.
Let's go.
We're back in open session. This meeting stands adjourned.
All right.